Dave takes your phone calls. Now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we've got a couple things to get to, but first we go to Mike in Lutz, Florida.
No, I'm calling from the Lutz County Jail. I get one phone call per week. And I just wanted to tell you, you look fantastic on radio because you have no live stream on the TFNN server.
Ah, okay.
When you log in.
You should have told that to the guys that took the phone call.
I think
they actually handle it.
I think he was on a donut break.
Okay. You wanted to talk about XBI?
Yeah, did it give up the ghost here? I mean, can you check the newswire? What's happening here? This thing just gave it all up. Gave up today's gain. They gave up yesterday's gains, and now they're challenging Monday's gains.
As I talked about on Monday, there's probably nothing more stupid than to, as they've been saying on CNBC all day long, step into a hornet's nest, which is raise your price 500% in an election cycle when other people have already done it. But almost everything has to do now with congressional investigations for the next 2 weeks. So I would say that the coast is clear to short this thing for the next 2 weeks. And probably into those...
The EpiPen scandal, huh?
Yeah. It's probably been half of what they've talked to or about on CNBC all day today.
So nothing Clinton or Clinton's aides have mentioned in the last 2 or 3 hours?
That's the other half of what they're talking about. So at least they've gotten half of it off the TV. But even that, there's so many things you can say about EpiPens and emails, and they have to actually veer back into business news occasionally.
Have you actually checked the official Hillary Clinton Twitter feed? Has she gone back to bashing biotech? Yes,
she already did.
Today?
Yes, at 1 o'clock or it was 1:15. I've been watching the news feeds on this, so it's kind of interesting to watch how this goes. And I talked about it, I don't know, maybe a month ago, but there were a lot of people doing artificial intelligence and stock trading. It may even been longer than that, but it was. I'm trying to remember who the actress was. I can't ever remember her first name. She's a little skinny girl. But Berkshire Hathaway, every time I want to say Jane Hathaway from the Clampetts, but it's not. Something else, whatever her other name is, Hathaway.
Right. Okay.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The skinny girl. She's probably about 30 now. Every time her name popped up with a new movie, there was a 0.5% change in Berkshire Hathaway. And it was like, okay, somebody's scanning the news articles out here and just moving the stock based on algorithms. And it was very interesting because the study went for like 8 years. And, I think that there's a lot to that. And the algorithm figures out it's not good news. They just automatically start dumping on things. So this one was kind of...
Can you look at the chart on the S&P Biotech here? Have we basically done a double top?
I think there's a pretty good thing to say that you had really the top kind of come in at that 64.95, which is the August 4th high. You had 10 million shares. You pierced it today with about 6.3 million shares. But my call, I look at the IBB more than this. Yeah. But my guess is that you're in this bigger trading range. And in the IBB, to me, this one always looked like it was going to head back down to 240 one more time.
You alluded to that in the previous broadcast.
Yeah,
but, we've been down there 3 times already. So normally, the next time down, I think they're going to punch through, and we go down to the October 2014 lows.
I don't know. I think that the earnings are pretty good on these things. I just think this thing's in a news-bound cycle, and I won't predict anything more. But I think right now that you probably have a chance at about 278 just in the next probably week or so as it goes back, hits that gap on the IBB, which is on the 21st. I think that's the first move. If it comes down there with a little light volume, maybe you get a bounce out of it there. But to me, this thing has been doing a pretty good job of just, fairly nice trends, right? There's not a lot outside the trend cycle on the IBB and these biotechs. They're pretty darn good. Short of one day where this thing kind of overran itself back on April 6th, they've been straight line moves. So, if that could change, I like the fact that they weren't able to bust a couple of people out. You're not watching in the Tiger's Den, are you?
How can I? The server's down.
Okay. In the Tiger's Den?
Your whole server is down. I was just lucky to get you on the radio.
Okay. I'm showing it now, but maybe it'll be on the repeat night, or I'll do it later in the show if they get it fixed. But I'm showing you had some big shorting come in on the 1st and 2nd of August that really looked like a lot of the big guys in here were shorting above that 290 level. So since then, we haven't had a lot of shorts, which is pretty good. Means that I think that there's
some big blocks in the IBB on the short side around 290 back on Monday.
No, on the 2nd.
The 2nd of August.
Yeah. That's when it looks like the big guys were getting into that push above. What was the high day was 296 that day. And high was 299 on the 2nd. Those 2 days that everybody was getting pretty short these stocks. There's a lot of volume in it as they pushed to that high. You kind of came back. You had an opportunity to go after it today. There was never any volume in the morning. And once the news started really hitting about 11, there were like two more congressmen. And then there was a lot of discussion in the afternoon, starting about noon with hearings. And then Hillary hopped on about 1. And so, news driven, IBB pretty sensitive to news. So.
Okay. So another push down to 240.
I'm thinking that we're just in this big trading range right now. Everybody's been buying everything, and I think that's what's held this market, or held the biotechs up higher than it should be. But my guess is that there's going to be a lot of grandstanding, and that is going to be in 2 weeks. So you've got that cloud over you for 2 weeks. Then you got the actual hearings, which will probably be even worse. So you may get 3 weeks of really a bad news cycle out of here.
So the hearings are in September?
They said they called them for 2 weeks from today. That's what I saw on the news feed.
So this is going to be on the defensive for the next 3 weeks.
I'm thinking, you get at least into that hearing. Who knows if they're multiple days? My guess is that they'll do everything they can to grandstand this and drag it out as long as possible. You don't know whether or not you get both hearings in the Senate and the House. That can actually then go on to another week. So like I said, I think you got a good 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks out of this right now.
Great.
So I would just, if you're long these things, probably best to be out. If you're short these things, you probably missed the boat. But
all right.
Okay. We'll be back with
cell.
Kevin from Orlando when we come back.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com. directionshares.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're going directly to Kevin in Orlando, Florida, not Lutz. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing good. Great show.
Okay.
Appreciate it. I've been keeping an eye on Valiant, watching them pump this thing up. They've been upgrading it, the brokerage firms have, and whenever they do that, you know they're setting up to sell this thing. And as soon as the IBB turned over today, I thought this might be a good short. I was wondering what your thoughts were on it.
Well, one of the problems I have is this is one of the most shorted stocks out there. Are you in the Tiger's Den by chance?
I'm in my car right now, so I don't have access to any of the charts.
Okay. Well, you can watch it tonight on the replay. But, you had some fairly big short interest come in at this level. And that always makes me, if you've heard my commentary in the last, few days, how I like stocks that don't have high short interest because then there aren't a lot of natural buyers as it goes down.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And that is the real problem. If you give me just a second, let me Google something, which is NASDAQ short interest VRX. And there it is. Okay. I just wanted to. Nope. VRX is broken. I don't know what's wrong here on the old NASDAQ site. I'll have to try it later. My data, at least on this, shows that this thing has been one of the most heavily shorted stocks of the last 5 days. So
I didn't know if there was covering going on with the
there is, but every time someone covers, this is like Tesla. It's the stock that goes nowhere because everybody's short, everybody's long. Right. There are a lot lower hanging fruit in the sector, and maybe you've heard some of my discussions about being short other things. But I was short Western Digital when it was 110. I'm not a big fan of coming down here and shorting it at 45. That's because everybody knows the story's already in already, and everybody, especially people that are probably not that sharp, are going to be shorting it too, and you get all these wild short covering squeezes and everything else. And the really thing to be in these stocks and be short is before everybody's talking about them.
Right.
Once everybody gets loaded into these things, that's it. But this over the last 4 days, 20% of at least who knows how many went home short, but 1 out of every 5 shares was shorted 4 days ago. About 1 every 5 shares and 1 every 6 shares the day after that. Yesterday, very light, only 1 out of 10 shares. But on it would have been Monday, only 1 out of 10 shares. But yesterday, right back to it, 1 out of every 5 shares was a short instantated order. So the downside is not that big, and the ability to get squeezed out is big, and that goes into my risk reward calculations.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, on this stock, of course, in hindsight, it's always 20/20.
Sure.
But to me, you want to be looking at this stock back at 263. And even, I probably would have quit shorting it back at 88 bucks.
Right. Yeah.
There was a lot more out here. It's just that you get these wild swings out of these stocks once they're down here. To me, the story on this one would be whenever it does bottom out, I would probably want to be long this thing as long as everybody and their dog keeps jumping on top of this thing. It's not going out of business anytime soon. There's some stocks that are. I was looking at Sears Holdings today. The only question is how long before it goes out of business, right? This one, it's got some stuff. It can sell it. It's got a lot of debt, like $16 billion worth of debt. So I know I've looked at this thing and thought about it. To me, the only place that I would think about shorting this again would be if it fills this gap down that was on, March 15th. This thing came down with 138 million shares that day. And what was the high of the day that day? 53.90. But to me, if you've heard the last few days too, I've been talking about these double gaps.
Right.
And there is a double gap back into that area. So you would probably, that would be, let's go back here and look. There we go. There's a double gap right at about 62 bucks. And
so
these
you can
things,
get up there on light volume. That's the time to do it.
You want everybody to be squeezed out of this thing. There are a lot of other stocks in the biotech pharma sector that are up at highs.
Right.
That would be much lower hanging fruit to me that aren't being heavily shorted, that everybody and their dog is long. And that is exactly what you want in shorts. You want it to be absolutely almost impossible to hold the short because it's at highs and there's no volume. And sometimes it may take you a couple of times to short get the move in, but then you actually do get that 263 to 88 bucks. You might remember that I was short the BIIB, and we made a killing in the newsletter on it. But that was after it failed. When was it? There it is on my charts. That was on last July, the 23rd, and the 24th it opened up down, 60, 80 bucks or something.
Yeah.
But that was about the last time that I was willing to short this thing. It would have gone down a great deal more, but the risk reward's pretty horrible. Now, the great news, of course, is if you want to go home tonight later and you go through the archive of this show on video, you're going to see this also has a double gap back here that's right around 350 to 360. So let's say we pull back a little bit. Maybe this thing pulls back to, the BIBB pulls back to like 260 or something, right? And then this fall at Christmas, it goes back up to 350 or something, or next year. That double gap is where I'd want to be thinking of shorting on light volume. But that's 350 to 370. And other than that, it's an easy way to get your head cut off with these things. I'll look in real quick on this one. You know what? It's got very light for the last 2 weeks, very light short interest in this thing. So not too bad. I think they're all headed back down. It's just, you've got to the only thing I can think you can do, and the way I've played this thing since Monday, is buy puts.
Gotcha.
So I don't think you want to be short the equity and have and get squeezed out and lose a lot more than you should. And even today, I've been looking at options that are a lot cheaper than most people would think.
Awesome. I will check them out, man, and I appreciate all the good info.
You bet.
All right,
Be
Dave,
like Kevin. Give me a call at 877-927-6648. We haven't even gotten to really a lot of charts yet. But that's nice. It's a good day to do that. You can call me at 877-927-6648. You can email me at pat@tfnn.com. You can also put a message in the den. I've got a couple of those to get to in the next segment. Just so much to get to. Be back in a minute.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
$21.79. We're headed back down to test the low of the day at $21.78 on the S&P cash. So we got pretty much everything we got going on out here. Like I said, I think there's still, we're not that very far off the top. Still a lot of low-hanging fruit, but I would look for stocks that are kind of weak now, but not ones that are already down at their lows. Just assuming they're going lower, I would want to find weak stocks that have some room to move. And come on. I'm having an issue Not exactly sure why. It's doing it again. I'm not exactly sure why. Okay, I will try to reload that in a minute. What did we have? Hang on a second. Sometimes if I get to my list of stuff by coming in a different way, nope, doesn't like me at all. Got a whole list of movers here today, and I'm not exactly sure why it's not doing it. Let's try a different browser here and see if that doesn't help. Hang on, everybody. I know it's taken just a little bit too long. Oh, crap. Now, I'm just going to give up on that. What do we have going on out here? We'll go through some of the ones that I've been looking at here. I'll take a look. Angie's List. This one's getting back up to their highs. Again, not a lot of energy, but you could kind of make a case that this thing was making at least an attempt back on its November 25th high, 2015. You know, the volume's about halfway there. I had a few questions in the den, now that I remember it. And what were they were? Question about crude, I thought, back in here earlier in the thing. I can go back far enough. Anne Hathaway, yep. Got that. Finally figured that one out. Okay. Okay. Sanders. Can you look at the GDX? Okay. We'll do that. GDX. And I think the other question in there that I missed going through all this text and trying to read and actually operate stuff at the same time was about crude. We talked about these two gaps. Actually, there were three gaps. One's already been filled. And I said you could conceivably talk about a three-gap play out here. You pretty much have filled the first one. You're now headed to the second one on the GDX. That would be the gap up on the 24th of June. And then you have the gap before that, which is on the 3rd of June. And my guess would be that that's where you would want to be back in this GDX, which is right at the, what is that, high 22s. It looks like it goes to about $23.80. And the reason I say that is, once again, there's a nice double gap out there right at about 23. Let's get this a little closer here so you can see. That double gap comes in right around $23.70. So to me, that looks like you could have that 23.70 as the area that you wanted to get back into. That takes you back to where this thing really took off with a sign of strength on that 3rd. You had the big volume that day with 180, let's call it 190 million shares on 6.3. So you got a high volume day, you got a double gap. This thing could probably come back that 23.70 per day, and that would be your buy point on the GDX. On crude, I don't have a real chart to show, but you know what? It's, as far as I'm concerned, still, I think I said it the other day, it's in a trading range from probably at the highest $50 to about $39 now. I still think that it should have tested $38 last time we were down there. And my guess is it probably this time will at least overshoot somewhat to the point of getting that. Let me go back and see whether or not everything is running now. Okay. Come on. Come on. Okay. I got it. Did I answer everybody's question? If not, in the den, go ahead and ask it again. Anne Hathaway, Harv from Hull MA says so. Okay, sold to MYMT, may purchase AGNC. Please comment on your show today if possible. And this is Charles, who is from Lutz, Florida, apparently, as he doesn't say where he's from. AGNC. I don't know where you would purchase this, but it would probably be more like 18 bucks. This thing has broken the previous highs on lighter volume. Energy was about the same on the way up, on the way down, so it's not a short for a couple of reasons. But the first one would be that the energy wasn't all that bad. But, you know, I would say that the only good risk reward would be about 18 bucks back here on these lows of April 27th and April 26th. So I would want a bit of a pullback. I don't like that you're coming right into this resistance level of July 29th and December 4th, July 29th, 2014, and December 4th, 2019. And I don't know what else you can say about it other than that. Okay. What do we have? Okay, get rid of a couple of these things. Wanted to go to my list of the stocks that were actually moving today. On the upside, Clovis, CLVS, and that one, after being kind of ripped apart, got a little good news today, but I think a great deal of that was from yesterday. It was kind of thought in. And yes, they did get their approval, fast track approval for a drug. This only gets them through the March 8th low, and you would have the resistance come back into about $36. Another one that probably gets the losing horn today, EXPR is off 25% today because it's with volume blowing through all the previous lows. Got a couple more pennies to go. But not that far. This is Express. Some of the retail young clothers have been doing good. And I think this one started going up on the back of some of those. But this is not one of the ones that did any good. This one fell apart today and is looking like it's going to blow through all the previous lows back to that May 30th, 2014 low. Not good. We'll be back after this break.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Question in the den about USO. Again, I'm not a big fan of shorting crude now that it's kind of gotten down in these levels. I'm much more the kind of guy to look at crude at $150 and be trying to get the downside off of that than after it's dropped, threefold, fourfold, whatever. But the question is the 1050s out here for the puts on September 16th for expiration. I don't know what you paid for them, but yeah, I think you got 923 for a test out here coming, and I think it's probably coming in the next few days. So I don't know if there's anything more you can say about it. It's this thing is like the IBB. It has been a trend monster for the last few months. So this looks like you've got a good trend right back down to the 923. Far too many people trying to buy the low in this, so I do like it for a retest of that low. I just would probably look at something that is much more at the highs, probably something that was in energy that was still at highs, like one of the big sectors out there like the XOM or something like that. But that would just be me. I don't like waiting until a stocks or an ETF or anything else has been eviscerated to 1/5 the price and then hopping on, even if it's going bankrupt. But my personal preference. As we get back here, 2179 on the S&P cash. Volume is light, 2.12 billion shares, off 7.5 points as we go into the end of the line out here. What did we have that I really wanted to take a look at before the end of the day? Lazy Boy, another one. This one's really kind of cross currents. Apparently, there's a huge indication if you buy a new house, you're buying a Lazy Boy. And these guys weren't able to take the hottest house market in many years and execute on it. Has got to be a problem. You probably got just about everything out of this thing in one day. It went back to its gap up on 622 that had 1.3 million shares. Unfortunately, it was on 2.6 million shares. Again, you've got another gap down here at about $21. If this thing continues, that is the logical conclusion, is that this is in a trading range back to about 21.25 on Lazy Boy. If there's anything else, Win is probably telling us more than anything. Hopefully I can get this in before the end of the show. I've been talking about China and some of the anecdotal evidence, which seems to be, to me, a lot more useful in China than actual whatever the government is telling us. That no one was going to the movies this summer, and probably you could just say the movie stunk. But I don't know if you're watching a movie that's in a foreign language already, what you're expecting. Maybe it's not going to be that great to begin with. But a few other things I've seen that really show spending in China has really come down. Of course, the whole deal on this was they were opening up all those new casinos. Everything was going to be rainbows and unicorns. But I think this is telling you a great deal more. In the next couple of days, we're going to go after this low from June 27th, which low a day is 86.34. I think the move today tells you that more than ever that China, third world, others, to me, look extremely weak in this market. Hang on for the one and only Tom O'Brien for the next 2 hours. Got a few earnings after the bell tonight that he will call on. And I think that's about it. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.